Well, I graduated from high school and started attending classes at UTPA, and I went there for my basics, and I was all into the political scene. I was a poli-sci major and ready to take over a campaign and be a campaign manager one day. That's what I wanted. And one day I was in class and we were debating, and my political science professor said, "You know, Dina, I could really see you doing the news." And it was from that moment on, he planted the seed, and I said, wow, I'd never even given it a thought. And from that moment on, I said, you know what? Yeah, let me give this a shot. Graduated from Southwest Texas State with a degree in mass communication, specializing in broadcast journalism. So after I was in my last year, my senior year, and back then you had to do internships. So I took an internship at KSAT in San Antonio, which is the ABC affiliate. And my second love is sports. I had my heart set on being a sports broadcaster somewhere. I was going to be on the sideline somewhere. And I put together some stories that we did around campus and some of the sports packages that we did at KSAT. And I came down during spring break, and I came here to Wesco. Did not set up an appointment. I just walked in the front door, and it just so happened the personnel manager was at the front. And at the time, we like to call him Mr. D. His name is Rick Diaz, who is a living legend in the Valley. He was a news director here at the time. Well, he wasn't here. He was on spring break too. So I said, well, here's my tape. I'm from Edinburgh. Here's my resume. I'd like for him to see it. Even if I can't get a job here, I'd like for him to critique it. So the week passed. A week later, he calls me up. We do a phone interview. And I said, you do realize that I don't graduate until May? And he said, that's fine. He said, we need a reporter in Cameron County. So I graduated Saturday, and I was here Monday for my first day on the job as a reporter. I'm still very old school, so I believe in the personal approach always. I want to see that person, I want to shake their hand, and I want to talk to them. But if you're like of today's generation, put your best stuff together. Yeah. And make sure it's something quick, it catches your attention, because they're going to look at it for the first maybe 2 minutes if you're lucky. And if that's what you need to grab their attention and say, hey, that person looks interesting, that person looks like they have potential. Where do I begin on social media? It has changed our profession, our industry dramatically. I feel in some ways it's great because it's immediate, it's fast. Everybody can get the news right there and then on their device. In some ways, I feel it's hurt the industry because I feel like anybody can today go on, whether it's YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, and be a reporter and say things, and maybe not everything is accurate that they're saying. And so we really have to not only just double check, triple check, do everything, but you want to make sure that whoever's out there is reporting accurate news, because it's very important in our industry that we have all the facts. For example, here at our station, community service is very important, whether it's through Tim's Coats, Teach the Children, Easter Seals. So many of our anchors and reporters are involved in giving back to the community and making sure that we are ambassadors in our community, because it's very important for them to know that not only do we care about what's happening in their backyards and covering the news, it's important to them, but we also want to give back because we know that there's so many people in need in so many different ways.